Have you ever stopped to think about the world that's alive inside of you? I mean, right now, as we speak, there are literally trillions of cells working, communicating, and traveling through this metropolis that's more complex than any city on Earth. And today, we're going to go deep inside to uncover some of their secrets. So, that brings up a really simple question, right? How do they get where they need to go? But the answer is, it's just mind-blowing, because it's not random at all. There is this incredibly precise, high-stakes system of navigation and communication that is keeping you alive, and we're about to break down exactly how it all works.
Okay, so let's just dive right in. I want you to picture your body as this huge, bustling nation of about 37 trillion cellular citizens. Now, every single one of them, from your brain cells to your skin cells, has a very specific job. But today, we're going to focus on the travelers, the real first responders of this inner world.
Now, here's what's so wild about this. It means that this incredibly diverse workforce, we're talking your red blood cells, your immune cells, the whole shebang, they all trace back to one single type of cell, a common ancestor for all of them. And we're just about to meet it. So, where does it all start? Where is this origin point? Well, it all begins deep inside your bones, in a place we can think of as a cellular factory, the bone marrow. This is where the magic of creation happens, 24/7, non-stop.
So, meet our hero for today, the hemopoietic stem cell, or HSC for short. Now, this isn't just any old cell. It's a master cell, a total blank slate with this incredible potential to become any type of blood cell your body could possibly need. It really is the ultimate jack of all trades.
But, how does a master cell even decide what it's going to be when it grows up?
Well, it follows a very precise recipe of chemical signals. Think of it like this. You've got one protein that acts as a master switch, just keeping the factory running. Then another signal comes in, and it's the decision maker. It tells the cell, okay, you're going to become a fighter for the immune system. And then a third signal acts as a growth factor, helping it mature into its final form. Every single step is perfectly controlled.
So, once a cell is created and has its specialty, it hops into the bloodstream, which is basically the superhighway of your body. But its mission isn't just to joyride around, no. The real challenge is getting off the highway and into the tissues where it's actually needed. It's kind of like a secret agent trying to cross a heavily guarded border.
So, how on earth does it do that? It has these specialized molecular tools. I want you to think of selectins as little bits of Velcro. They let the cell kind of grab onto the blood vessel wall and slow down, just tumbling along the surface. But when it's time to stop for good, it deploys the superglue, these molecules called integrins that lock on for a really strong, stable hold.
And this whole process happens in this brilliant four-step sequence. First, the cell rolls, using those weak Velcro-like grips. Second, it gets activated by chemical SOS signals coming from the tissue. Third, the cell comes to a full arrest, locking on tight with those powerful integrins. And then, finally, the incredible part, migration. It literally squeezes itself between the cells of the blood vessel wall to get into the tissue on the other side. Just amazing. Mission accomplished.
Okay, so this entire process, right, from creation all the way to arrival, it all depends on absolutely flawless communication. Every signal has to be sent and received perfectly. But what happens when that communication is broken, or even worse, when it gets hijacked?
Yeah, this really elegant, life-sustaining system is incredibly powerful, but it's also vulnerable. There are things out there in nature that have evolved specifically to exploit these communication pathways, and they do it with devastating consequences.
The best way to see this is with nerve cells. So let's take two toxins. You've got botulinum toxin, the stuff you find in improperly canned food. It works by blocking the go signal, the excitatory one. And without that signal to contract, muscles just go limp. That's flaccid paralysis. Now, tetanus toxin does the exact opposite. It blocks the stop signal, the inhibitory one. So without the signal to relax, muscles contract uncontrollably, and that leads to spastic paralysis. So you have two different toxins hijacking two different signals with completely opposite but equally disastrous results.
Okay, let's step back for a second and just look at the big picture here. From that factory in the bone marrow to that high-stakes border crossing, this whole journey reveals some really fundamental truths about how our bodies are operating every single second of every day.
The thing is, this microscopic world is in constant motion. New cells are always being created. They move with this incredible sense of purpose, following a complex roadmap of chemical signals. And ultimately, your health, my health, our health relies on these trillions of conversations happening perfectly. And as we just saw, even one tiny disruption in that signaling can bring the entire system to a grinding halt. It's truly an incredible, self-regulating universe inside each and every one of us. And it's all built on a language of molecules and signals that we are really just beginning to understand. And it really makes you wonder, right? As we get more fluent in this cellular language, what new medicines, what cures, what new possibilities are we going to be able to create?